Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. I hope I find you well today. What a rally, what a run. And I just shared with you in the chat, look at that gain in 1 year, $120,000, 28%. Let's be absolutely clear, right? So everyone realizes that is not, I repeat, by earning money. That is not YouTube income. That is by buying at the right time, buying with conviction, buying the bottom. We always get the bottom. We did it in Liberation Day. We've done it on the war, tax harvesting, repositioning, understanding the mechanics. You too can do exactly the same thing. And remember, that was done with no options, no short, no crypto, just my stocks and ETFs. And all of that is basically the S&P 500 at the right time, Coca-Cola at the right time. When people tell you you can't get rich with Coca-Cola, you can't get rich with the S&P 500, utter nonsense. You absolutely can. You can buy the bottom. When people say you can't time the bottom, yes, you can. When people say you need to be in cash because you shouldn't be in the market, it's overbought and all the rest of it, no, there's always a way to make money. You are looking at it on the screen. It's right there in front of you. 121,000 now in just 1 year. Okay? On the road to $1 million. Now, this live stream today is all about, let me just bring that into focus. This is all about Donald Trump and an exclusive interview directly with the UK. And we are going to break down with a military analyst what this really means, what we've heard, what you have heard, and what we're likely to get in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so we're going to start off with an interview from Donald Trump that came directly to the United Kingdom's interview. And then I'm going to show you and discuss with a military analyst as well. So that way we can prepare for what comes next. People say, why do you cover the news? This is becoming a political channel. It's not. It's an investment channel. But if you're not paying attention to the news and Trump and the war shapes the market. So you have to be on top of it if you're going to make money. It's as simple as that. So, just as we got the ceasefire last night, we had a phone call directly into the UK news, which most of you in the United States have not seen. So we're going to share this, discuss this with you, and get prepared for the next 2 weeks so we can once again go and win again. Tap the like button wherever you're watching on the phone or whether you're watching on the widescreen TV. Thank you very much indeed. 2 streams that run simultaneously now, all found on the homepage, and consider subscribing. I've just done my FOMC report minutes. Sensei gave you a very deep dive with the newsletter. Go and check that out if you'd like to. But right now, we're going to listen in to that phone call that was made to Donald Trump last night and see what was said and how we can prepare. And then we're going to analyze the war with a military scientific analysis. Very, very important. Right, let's get straight into it. Here we go.
Let's get now the thoughts and the words of our US correspondent Mark Stone, who has spoken to President Donald J. Trump. Mark, great to have you with us. What did the president have to say?
Well, he's upbeat. I spoke to him between the two posts that you referenced there. The first post came about an hour and a half before his self-imposed deadline. That was 8 p.m., the deadline, Eastern time. Remember, that was a point at which 24 hours earlier, he had said if Iran didn't meet his demands, he would effectively, I'm paraphrasing, all hell would break loose in Iran. It was extraordinary language we heard from the president. But an hour and a half before that, as you have outlined, he decided that he would accept this 10-point plan and accept this 2-week delay. After that, we called him. I called him, and he picked up. He doesn't always, but he did this time. And it was only a short call. These calls are very often very short, about a minute and a half. He said, I haven't got long. Be quick, he said. And so I asked him, how he was feeling with this ceasefire in place. It's great, he said. It's very good. He then went on to say that he believes that we've done everything we wanted to do militarily. He described it to me as a complete victory, a victory in military terms. And then he said, actually, in every other sense as well, a complete victory. That is how he is framing this war, which has lasted for just over a month. Now, I put it to him, and I think this is really important. As you outlined there, what appears to have happened is the president has accepted an Iranian position, which is 10 points. They're outlined in this document here, the National Security Council, Supreme National Security Council statement that came out overnight via Iranian media. And in these 10 points, this is really important, there are maximalist Iranian demands, like all American troops out of the Middle East, not just those that have come for the war, but all of them. Like that Iran should control the Strait of Hormuz, something they didn't do before this war. Now they get to do that as part of this proposal, and also the removal of all sanctions. A few other things as well. These are absolute maximalist Iranian demands. They are something the Americans could never accept. And yet Donald Trump is saying that now they form the viable basis for a negotiation that he thinks could last just 2 weeks. So I put it to him, how is this? How are these proposals anything workable that America could agree to? And he said to me, you don't know what the points are. You don't know what they are. I do know what they are. He then went on to say they're very good points, and that most of them, this is intriguing, most of them have been fully negotiated already. So he is disputing the Iranian position, suggesting that the negotiations are already well developed. Remember, we didn't even know they were directly negotiating. Now he's saying, claiming that they are well developed, and that they are not the maximalist demands that Iran is claiming in their side of the statement. So something doesn't quite add up here. He then said, if it isn't good, we'll go right back to it very easily. I assume by that he's meaning we'll go right back to the fighting. Then he said, I've got to go now, and he ended the call. So it wasn't fulsome, but it was certainly added a lot, I think, to what has been kind of a dizzying night.
Extraordinary that you got to speak to him on such an important night,
Yeah.
Mark. Tell us a bit more about his mood. What did you make of his demeanour?
Well, as I say, he was upbeat. And you know what's very interesting? This is the first time we've had his number for a little while. A lot of journalists, I think this is kind of worth pointing out, because it's odd, it's unusual. There are not many world leaders who A, allow their phone number to be out and about, and B, will just pick up to people. But Trump's not any world leader. And his number over the course of a few months has circulated among journalists here in Washington, DC. We've had it for a little while. We've tried to call a few times. He hasn't answered. And tonight, seemed like a pretty good night to try and speak to the American president. And so we called him.
Imagine this.
4 or 5 rings, and he picked up. And it kind of halfway through I think he sort of said hello before he'd actually answered the phone. So I only picked up the sort of second half of it, and he said yeah, or something like that. And so I had to clarify that it was him, and then clearly it was, and the conversation got going. But he was upbeat. Clearly, he has just got a ceasefire. It may be one that he has, some might argue, capitulated to get, but he's got one. The fighting has stopped. That's really important. The Strait of Hormuz appears to be opening up. That's really important. The other point I'd make, which I think is interesting, is that, I sort of observe President Trump daily. I was in the briefing room yesterday when he was there, or the day before, whenever it was. We see him on the cameras all the time. People who spend time with him privately often say he's a different person privately, or can be a different person privately. World leaders who deal with him will often say that. And I got a little hint of that in this phone call. He was polite. He was courteous. He thanked me for calling him. He thanked me at the end for calling him. So it wasn't the bombastic President Trump that we are all used to. It was a little hint of that other President Trump that people so often refer to. And it's still the same guy, the guy who a day earlier had been making these utterly extraordinary, unprecedented remarks about removing a civilization, and then 24 hours later on the phone to him, where he's saying it's great, it's a good night, we've got a ceasefire, a complete victory.
Extraordinary stuff, Mark. And look, we're on now another Trump timeline, aren't we? We now have got 2 weeks until we see where this thing ends up. What's your sense of that in the hours after the ceasefire seems to have come into force?
Well, he's kicked an almighty great can 2 weeks down the road, effectively, because there is now a huge pressure to negotiate something from surely a position. I mean, he in his call to me, he's saying that you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what the points are. I do know what the points are, but we know what the points are in the sense that Iran has published them. So unless something, as I say, someone's not being straight here, but there is an awful lot to do to try in 2 weeks to try and get to an actual position, a common position, which can turn something temporary into something permanent.
Quite incredible scenes, I think you'll agree, to get an exclusive like that. I thought it was worth sharing because I thought most people probably haven't seen that, all right? So I hope that was of use to you. I found that absolutely incredible that we had that call. Right. Now what we're going to do is, again, all this, I'm sharing all this. It's all part of my strategy. This is how I make money, right? You're following my journey. This is not financial advice. I don't tell people what to do. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm winning. These are my trades, all the rest of it. And this is how I'm analysing and trying to understand what comes next. So this next interview I've got for you is Professor Michael Clark. Now, Professor Michael Clark is a analyst of military operations, and it enables us to understand exactly what's going on with the military, how we can understand what comes next. Because take Trump for what you will. We want to hear it from analysts who this is their field of expertise, who are looking at it objectively, transparently. So this next piece I'm going to share with you is really important because this is how we analyze what is likely to happen next. Not the bravado, certainly not Pete Hesketh. I mean, the guy is just a lunatic half the time. But anyway, not that guy. Even the military don't like him. So before you ever go at me, the US Army do not like Pete Hesketh. They think, I mean, did you see today the way the general tried to shut him down because he's like thinking he's in a Hollywood movie, and the actual general, a 4-star general, kind of cut him off because Pete Hesketh says, "Oh, I'm not taking questions from you. You should be indicted." And the general went, "Oh, actually, I want to answer that question." You saw a real general in the actual army as opposed to, I don't know, some gob on a stick. All right. So anyway, what we're going to get now, that was a bit strong, wasn't it? But anyway, that's what the army think of him. I know. I've spoken to him. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you some technical analysis now from a military expert. And this way we can draw an understanding of what comes next. So this is a really, really important one as well. This is Michael Clark. Love what this guy has to say. Is very, very intelligent guy. And you won't have seen this if you watch the news in America. Okay, here we go.
It's an interesting time, Michael. There have been 38 days of relentless bombing campaigns on both sides. And then a hell of a deadline. The risk of the end of a civilization, and it was all averted at the last minute, mediated by Pakistan. And it feels as though there's no victor, really, but it feels as though both sides will claim a win. Why do the Iranians, in the first instance, think that they have come out on top here?
Yeah, they think that they've won this round. I mean, this may be the first round in a longer war, or this might turn out to be the war itself. Whatever it is, this last 38, 40 days has left the Iranians in a potentially stronger position than they started with. So they'll think that they have done pretty well. So they're still there. They have changed their government from a theocratic government with a military element to a military junta, which is tougher. They have pushed back even further the idea of popular reform. The reformers who were out on the streets in January will not be coming out anytime soon. And
this is important to remember so we understand what happens in 2 weeks. All right. I don't think we're going to get anything in 2 weeks. We're going to go back to where we were. This is why I've not been buying the market. I bought the dip. Fantastic. And because the market rallied, Coca-Cola went down and I bought more of that. But be it just a few dollars, but it's all I had. I've not been buying this. I'm happy because it means the market wants to go up. We've seen what the FOMC minutes are today. The market wants to go up, but we don't want to be buying this. We want to be buying the dips again. Every time it crashes again. We're not buying, we're letting everybody else buy and get all excited. We're not doing that. And this information tells you why.
And if they do, they'll be gunned down. So it'll take some time before that gets going. And then they've faced down the United States. They've kept up attacks at a lower level than they started with, but they've kept up attacks in the whole region. And not least, the most important thing is they've weaponized the Strait of Hormuz. And, you know, Hormuz was not a problem to anybody before the war. Now it's a problem to everybody. For the last 40 odd years, the Strait of Hormuz has been studied as the obvious pressure point in a future Gulf War, and lo and behold, there it is. It's no surprise to anyone, apparently, apart from the man in the White House and his close advisors, who seem to have been surprised by the effect it would have and how easy it is to make the Strait of Hormuz impossible. You don't have to close it with mines or booms or chains or anything else like that. You simply have to make passage difficult. You have to make passage dangerous. And then the insurance market closes it for you because...
This is an important point I want to make, right? You can't win this war because all we have to have is it's dangerous to pass through the Straits of Hormuz, and you can control inflation around the world way more powerfully than Jerome Powell can. You can create more market turmoil than Donald Trump can with up and down the markets. If you simply control the Straits, and now Iran do, all right, all they've got to do is say, if you come through today, we're going to blow you up. They might not even have a bomb. They might not even be able to do it. But if they say it and people think they can't go through, you've got a problem. Now Iran control the entire global economy and inflation, and they haven't even got to do anything to do it. They just got to will it whenever they want. This was not a problem before, and this is something we need to understand. And how do we invest knowing all of this?
The big tankers, become uninsurable if they're going to be fired on as they go through the straits.
Iran didn't control the strait before this war. It doesn't have legal rights to do so, but it looks as though that's one of the conditions it wants to achieve, is control of the strait. If it does get that, if the United States was to agree to some premise around that, how big a win is this for Iran?
It's quite big, because then it would give them a grip over the straits. It would give them implied rights. That they'll talk in terms of protocols and technical difficulties, none of which are true, but they'll talk in those terms to make it clear that only with their agreement will the straits remain properly open. Everyone will know that it's by the grace and favour of the Iranians, whereas the straits is an international waterway. They have no right over it whatsoever, any more than we, the British, have a right to close the English Channel. You know, we have our territorial waters, but the English Channel, which is exactly the same width as the straits, as it happens, 21 miles, they have no right to close the Strait of Hormuz. And if they can make the international world, led by the United States, accept some sort of protocol which gives them some sort of special status to the straits, that will be a huge victory for them going forward into the future. It will be a huge blow to maritime law, because there are many straits in the world which must stay open for the good of the world economy. And maritime law was the basis in the 18th century of international law. So it would be a huge blow against some of the foundations of international law, as if international law hasn't been knocked about badly enough already.
Talk to me about the American perspective on this. Donald Trump has flip-flopped over his view on the Strait of Hormuz. Sometimes he says it's not their problem. Sometimes he said he'll make sure it gets reopened.
Yeah, I think the point is, I mean, Donald Trump, says the straits are not important to us. And directly speaking, that's sort of true, because everything that comes out of the straits, only 10% of it goes to the Western world, to Europe, Africa, and the United States, or North America. Collectively, 90% goes to Asia. which is India, China, Southeast Asia. So the United States certainly could function perfectly well without the Straits. Clearly has been demonstrated by this crisis that it's very important to the world economy. Thereby, the United States has a big indirect interest, because when the world economy suffers, then inflation in the US goes up and trade goes down, and the dollar suffers, oil prices go up.
The United States had put forward a 15-point plan at one point, which had been described as a surrender document for the Iranians. The Iranians in the last 12 or so hours have put forward a 10-point plan of their own, which I would argue looks a little bit like a surrender document for the Americans. Everything from you're going to have to pay Washington to rebuild Iran, you're going to have to get rid of the sanctions, you're going to have to let us, operate the Strait of Hormuz, you're going to have to withdraw all your military from the region.
All 40,000 of them.
This is, it appears like pie in the sky level kind of politics. How far back from that?
That's why we're going to be back at war in 2 weeks.
Well,
So
that's the
don't
point.
buy
Both
the
sides
market.
have submitted to the other their maximalist demands. And any sensible person looking at 10 points on one side, 15 points on the other would say these are irreconcilable, because they are, apart from a few minor points, the fundamental points are simply irreconcilable. So sometime in the next 2 weeks, both of those positions have got to be set aside and some new form of words developed, which will allow both sides to back off. Because, of course, the Iranians want to back off. They don't want to continue with this because they think they've won this round. And if they could walk away with this as their victory, they'll play it up. That's what it would be sensible for them to do that. And I worry that they're not going to be sensible, because they do also talk in terms of vengeance and natural justice. And they do have a very specific sense of grievance. And the danger is they'll overplay this victory. I mean, they have had a victory. It's not a huge victory, but it is a victory because they're still there. They'll overplay it and they will waste the opportunity. But if they're sensible, they'll walk away from this and accept forms of words which will be easier for them to live with. And the United States will do the same. But we can't, I don't think there's any chance, any realistic chance, of some sort of melding together of these 25 points, 10 on one side, 15 on the other, into something that looks like a viable deal between these two maximalist positions. They're going to have to come up with something completely new, covering nuclear, probably not ballistic missiles, covering the Strait of Hormuz, and possibly some confidence-building measures.
So Iran thinks, to some degree at least, it has a bit of a winning hand because it's managed to fend off two nuclear-armed aggressors. Israel's never acknowledged it has nuclear weapons, but it's also never denied either, and it does. So Iran's kind of done the impossible. Meanwhile, the United States thinks, well, hang on a second, we've won this round as well. And the quote here from the US is, everything we've achieved, everything that we wanted to do militarily, and it was a complete victory. True or false?
True, in the sense that everything we wanted to achieve militarily, they did. It was militarily flawless and politically clueless. That's the point. They achieved all of their military objectives one by one by one. They hit all the targets they wanted to hit. They conducted a military campaign, and they didn't translate that military superiority into the political outcome that they wanted. Because all wars ultimately come down to a political outcome. You fight in order to change the politics in some way. And the only way of cashing in on all the sacrifice and the cost and the blood and treasure of military operations is that it has to add up to something politically, to be safer or to be dominant or to be, to get back something that you've lost years ago, whatever it might be. And the United States has got so almost nothing out of this politically that it didn't already have at the start. So I don't know how one could say that this is successful as a war, but militarily, yeah, total success militarily.
Donald Trump, though, on Truth Social, then saying in regards to the 15-point proposal that the US had put forward, that the agreements and the points in it are good too, and most of them have been fully negotiated. What does that mean? Because if you just said it's been political...
I knew.
Okay, fine.
And I mean, they haven't. Nothing's been negotiated because neither side has sat down, in the same room across a table and talked through, thrashed out point by point, which is what professional diplomats do. What they've done is they've exchanged texts of their various red lines via the Pakistanis, backed up by Egypt and Turkey, who've played a really good role here, staying awake night after night and keeping both sides talking. So what they've done is they've agreed, because they were both at the 11th hour, they've agreed a ceasefire to give themselves time, but they're not negotiating in the way that President Trump seems to imply, as if the two sides were working through each point and coming up with compromise language and so on.
And that was the point, actually, that our US correspondent Mark Stone made to the president. He phoned him up on his phone. The president answered. They had a couple of minutes chit-chat. It was a remarkable situation when that phone did get answered. And Mark Stone put it to the president. He said, many of those points, surely the US could never agree to. And Donald Trump kind of pushed back on that because I guess he doesn't want to lose face. Do they have it within themselves to meet in the middle?
I don't think so, but I think they do have it within themselves not to get back to the point they were at this time yesterday. I think they both frightened themselves with the point that they'd come to of an apocalyptic exchange, and the Iranians were up for it. I mean, they didn't want to do it, but they were up for creating as much destruction as possible to as many actors as possible and to the world economy in response to what President Trump said he was going to do with all the power plants and bridges and other facilities in Iran. So I don't think that both of them don't want to approach that point again in 14 days' time. They'll find a sort of a modus vivendi whereby they'll just carry on grumbling at each other in a war that doesn't quite reignite but is never too far away. That's what I suspect will happen for the next couple of years, probably.
Is there an argument, though, that the United States did have awareness that maintaining operations at that tempo, it couldn't do indefinitely, and that actually pauses in hostilities, pauses in campaigns to allow them to regroup, reassess, re-ascertain, and then potentially go back on their reoffensive?
I think that's exactly right, Gareth. I don't know what discussions, of course, will have taken place in the Pentagon. But what we know from the outside is, first of all, we know that the Americans were dipping into their Pacific stocks they normally keep for operations in the Pacific, which in theory are much more important to them than anything in the Middle East. They were dipping into those stocks. We know, according to the Wall Street Journal, that they sent their whole stockpile of JASSM missiles, which is the Joint Air-to-Surface Cruise Missile, very effective, very good, stealthy, heavy missile. They sent all of their stocks via Fairford in Gloucestershire for their B-1B bombers, also in Fairford in Gloucestershire, right out to CENTCOM in the Middle East. So they've emptied their inventory of certain things. They've more or less emptied their inventory of Patriot missiles for these contingencies. They're dipping into their contingency reserves, and they wouldn't have wanted to do that for very much longer. And one of the other things that this crisis may have given pause to the military and to all of their Gulf allies to think is that even with all of this attention from the Pentagon on the Middle East, the US couldn't protect them. Against Iran, they still were suffering ballistic missile and drone attacks. Even with everything the US could do and all their US equipment, they were still not protected. And that message will go very deep into the politics of the Gulf states as they reconsider their security on the other side of this crisis. They'll think differently about their relationship with America. They wouldn't reject it, but they'll think differently about it. And they'll worry about, if the Americans can't protect you, who can?
Before we walked into the This Is Why studio, there was reports of a wave of strikes by the Israelis against Lebanon. And that leads us to the fact there was conflicting reports. The Pakistanis suggested that the ceasefire included Lebanon in the operation against Hezbollah. Benjamin Netanyahu, a few hours later, goes, no, it doesn't. We have seen huge plumes of smoke. The Lebanese ministry says it was the heaviest strikes yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen the details of those Israeli strikes yet, but they were certainly extensive. And it's a political symbol. I mean, the Israelis were indicating, Netanyahu was indicating that we're not stopping fighting. This is our war. This may be part of the broader mosaic of conflict, but this is a war we are determined to continue with, whatever it takes, to destroy Hezbollah once and for all, is what they're saying. And, they're going to occupy as a security zone all of Lebanon up to the Litani River, maybe even further north than that. And, of course, they did that for 18 years, between 1982 and 1982 and 2000. They were 18 years in that southern zone of Lebanon until they left. And it was occupation of that zone that created Hezbollah in the first place, actually. And it didn't do them any good whatsoever. But strategically, they're committing themselves now to an endless war. And Netanyahu has said this. I mean, it's now being called in Israel the Netanyahu doctrine, which is that our enemies will always exist. We'll never eliminate them completely. So we have to be prepared to take them on constantly. And, his critics say, oh, well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Because you're the one who stays in power and out of prison through endless war. So it suits you. I'm not saying that. That's what his critics say. But Israel is in a pretty dark place as a result of all of this, because it's committed itself now to certainly constant fighting in Lebanon and maybe constant war in Gaza and constant war against the Houthis and against the militias in Iraq.
What will the military planners of the world, and the United States for that matter, have learned and taken away from everything that's happened since the 28th of February?
The interesting question. They're taking away, in a different context, what they took away, or have been taken away from the Ukraine war, which is the ubiquity of robotics, of drones, of the ability of relatively cheap, essentially civilian technologies to be turned to a military purpose. And if they're turned to that military purpose in enough numbers, they can make a difference. And that's one of the great sort of takeaways, I think, from this, for military staff colleges around the world. Technologically, the era of the really expensive weapons platform, it's not over, but the really expensive weapons platform has got to be kept in reserve for the right moment. I mean, Britain, the British defence planners are talking about a model, this is the army in particular, talking about a 40-40-20 model. And it's the first 40% of the battle will be robots that you don't expect to get back. So one-way drones, kamikaze drones, and you'll hit the enemy with your kamikaze drones, 40% of your stuff. The next 40% that goes in after that, you do want to get back. So these are sophisticated drones in an environment that's a bit less dangerous because of your first 40%. So you send the second 40% in and you get those drones back. And then the last 20%, that's the armor. The boots on the ground, the tanks, the armoured vehicles, the bits that we used to think was the core of an army is now the last 20% that moves in after the robots and sweeps up. That's the model. Of course, it won't be as simple as that, of course. But that's the model. And that model that's begun to evolve in the Ukrainian war has been reinforced in lots of ways, albeit with an air campaign, in this war in the Middle East.
When Donald Trump is on the back foot militarily, he often then turns his attention and his ire to NATO. There's been no talk of it in the last couple of days when he's on the front foot. And I wonder where that relationship will lie as the dust settles on this 2-week pause.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. When he's on the front foot, it doesn't bother him. When he's on the back foot, he's looking for someone to blame. And the easy group to blame are always the Europeans for all sorts of reasons, some of which are not unjustified, no. But a lot of it is just ridiculous. And so he easily falls back on criticisms of NATO. Where are we with Europe? I mean, NATO is in deep, deep trouble because the transatlantic link is in effect broken. And people say, could Donald Trump pull America out of NATO? No, he can't. Constitutionally can't. He can't do it. He can't do it without a new treaty. And he wouldn't get that through Congress. There's all sorts of reasons why it is beyond Donald Trump's power to pull America out of NATO. So politically, he's already withdrawn from NATO. And NATO is already a Europe-only organisation in real sense. Because when he talked about NATO, indeed, when his national security strategy of November last year and then the national defence strategy of January this year, both two very key documents, when they came out, when they talked about NATO, they talked about it as if it wasn't part of the United States, as if the US wasn't in it. That NATO for them is just the Europeans. The idea that the United States was the founding member, and the Washington Treaty was called the Washington Treaty of 1949 because that's where it was. And the NATO summit this year in June is going to be quite a humdinger.
Thanks so much for watching this edition of This Is
There we
Why.
go. Let me wrap this up now. Let me just close that down just a minute. And then what have we learned from that? We've learned quite a bit, and it's shaping my portfolio. And this is why I cover this stuff. It's important because if you're going to make money, you've got to know what's going on in the world and politics. You've got to know what to invest in. There's a reason why I'm always winning and I'm not losing, and we're beating the market all the time and all this kind of stuff. We did it with Liberation Day. We've done it for the war, and we're going to continue doing it all the way to $1 million. Now, if you want all of my trades, join me on Discord. I'll be over on Discord in 30 minutes, I beg your pardon, on the hour for Discord. One-on-one service, show you all my trades, discuss our strategies. There's Discord, and there is YouTube membership. If you want my trades, put on the membership page of Discord, the post community channel. Also, there's the newsletter link if you want our newsletter. We get 50% off. So what do I see happening? In the next 2 weeks, it's quite obvious to me. This is why we've listened to this analysis. We got the phone call from Trump. I think in 2 weeks' time, it's going to fizzle What does that mean? All right, we're not going to win the war. It's not all going to be over. It's going to continue. But just like we had war in Europe for years with Slovakia and what was the name of the country? Slovakia, Yugoslavia, and so on. The Baltics went on for ages. And in the end, it continued forever. And there was a kind of like, never really agreed to end everything, but we just kind of live with it. This is going to be what's happening in the Middle East. So they've been fighting forever and they'll continue to fight. I think the market will be okay, but it won't all be over. There'll be some volatility, but I'm going to focus on not buying the market on the way up, not getting it over bullish. I bought it when it was the right time. It was the right time when the S&P was 20%, 20 times earnings. Not now. Now it's all about being defensive. My money is going into Coca-Cola, and you can see how it's going up today. When we had that sort of initial pump, today, everybody got excited. They were buying. Everybody was buying everything. Bloody ridiculous, really. Everyone was buying everything, which is great. I'm glad they did because I bought it when it was low. Everyone started to buy Google and Nvidia and S&P and buy everything. Everything's great, and that's pumped everything up. Now every part of my portfolio is green now. There's nothing that's out of the money now. Everything's making money, right? Which is great. But Coca-Cola in the last few hours has started to come up because people are starting to digest what this means. The FOMC minutes means we're not going to get rate cuts. We predicted that a year ago. We were right. Crypto isn't going to get a boom, and that's okay. We're up on all of our crypto as well. XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin. We bought the bottom. We haven't got to worry about it. If it goes lower, we buy more. If it goes up, we're not bothered. We've got enough to make our targets. We don't have to worry about it. Those that are buying it now and chasing it now, you're sat holding the bag. It's gone back down again, right? We're not buying it until we turn red. All of those numbers have to turn red overall before we buy. We're not going to buy because there's going to be no major explosion in this sector because there's going to be no rate cuts. We want to be in businesses that don't care about rates. Google, Nvidia, VUG, and to some point the S&P. All right, Coca-Cola for our defensive rotational play. So there we go. I thought I'd bring this to you because I think it's important to understand we're not just getting the drama and the noise and the headlines, which doesn't mean anything. It's all very well. Pete Hesketh standing on stage when the actual military don't like him, and he's up there like a cheerleader, and the actual general, 4-star general, had to cut him off and answer a question which he didn't want to answer. Oh, it's indictment. I mean, what the hell are you? You're just some mouthpiece, all right? You're a mouth on a stick. Whereas the general actually he's got experience of how the military works. So you've just heard there directly from the president. You've heard there from an expert military analyst. It's clear to me that the market is going to grind now. Remember, I told you that this year, the S&P 10% at best now. But if you bought the bottom, of course, you've made tons of money. If you're buying it now, you're not really going to make much, and you end up getting in the wrong sector and you lock your money up for a while. I am simply focusing on earning money, as in dividends, doing my job. For me, it's YouTube. For you, it's whatever it is, and just paying down the margin and not buying anymore. Just simply holding. So there you go. I hope that was useful to everybody. I tried to make these shows useful to benefit you. Let's go. Let me go into some Q&A. All right, we'll do some Q&A. Now, we won't do members only. We'll answer everyone's questions today. So if you want to have a question, if you've got a question, I'll answer everyone. Hi, here he is, our oil man, Stephen Lewandowski in the house. Martyn sent me. Thank you, Vaz. Great show earlier, Vaz. Go and check Vaz's event out. Really good. Second was Ruby. Hello again, everyone. I am going back to the beginning for a minute, but I'll get through, Liz. What about the news? The news is out, Liz. We're going back. Scottish Pete, how are you? Terry Rose is here. Lovely. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day in the markets. Yes, we are, Ruby. Michael Ty, first. Yes, Michael, how are you? Welcome. William Myers, everyone hit the like button. Thank you very much indeed. DJ Hayes, Mark Stone from Sky News called the president, and he got through. I know, it's amazing. I mean, it really is. The Mark Stone phoned him up. I'll try it. Sod it. I think I'll have a go. Can I have his phone number? I can soon get it. I've got the... No, I can't. I'm only joking. Cheers, Ruby. Alien sent me, says Ruby. Did something happen, Chip Gaming? Well, I hope so. I was never too aware of Sky and always preferred the BBC, but recently I love Sky's coverage and most of their broadcasts. Hello, everyone, says Tidy Big Dog. Trump and dump. Well, we don't need to dump it because we bought the bottom. We can just buy more when it goes back down and let everybody else pump and dump and lark around with it. Everyone had a good day in the market. I keep missing your shows, Vaz. Sorry. Well, I post them on Discord, post them on X, Instagram, Facebook, on the homepage of the channel. Just turn on your notifications, mate. What's going on? What's going on, Dan? Good afternoon, Ryden. I think Sky News and Channel 4 are the best news in the UK, to be honest. Thank you, Dan. Okie dokie. Hi all from Sweden. That's Frederick. How are you? DJ Hayes. Often any ceasefire announcement. Often get some news before that. So DJ. Ruby, what stock or ETF was the best of all today? What was the good winners? Well, it's too many to say, actually, Ruby. That's a bit big. Yeah, nearly everything went up today. Anyway, I'm sitting with my stock, says Scottish. Agree defense. Time all, sell off today. Not much rally. Sell off today. No, I'm not. It's not a sell-off. Don't know what you mean by that. Sky Q says Ruby. Nobody gets rich if they only collect money. What do you mean, Tidy? Henrik from Denmark. Good evening, all. Good evening to you. I don't like this layout. I don't like this layout. I prefer the moral. I don't know what you mean, UK investor. Ceasefire has been broken. No, it hasn't. It's just a bit of noise in the background. Yes, this is so sad. Ceasefire has not been broken. There's just noise in the background. Oil up or down tomorrow? I couldn't tell you. No idea. I don't trade oil. Always attack someone. You don't know. I know, says Defense. What do you know that no one else knows? Are we still on Team Trump or has that ship sailed? We're not on anyone. Ruby, what do you mean? I can tell you're not a member. You never watched the show before. We're not on anyone's team. We are on our own team. We are the Lucasades Discordians. We're here to win. We're here to make money in the market. We're not here to guess, to gamble. We're always winning. We're not on Trump's team. Trump's not on my team, but we're not on his team either. We're not on anyone's team. Why would anyone be on Trump's team? Trump doesn't need me to join his team. We are here for each other. We're here for the Lucasades, the Discordians, and all our members to make money. We're not for or against anybody externally of our show. We're here to make money. Sometimes politicians are right, sometimes they're wrong. We're not on anyone's team. I think it's a very bad way to invest, to join someone's fan club. That means you're just supporting their endeavours and you'll always lose. So no, we're not doing that. As for my part, I'm in Team Market. There you go, Defense. But I cannot close my eyes on how the world attacks to raise himself being better than others. There you go. You're on Team Market. Exactly. We're here to make money. We're not here to join any fan club. Right on says Scottish Pete. Can I change this layout? I have no idea. Can I change this layout? UK investor. What are you saying? I don't understand. What do you mean? Can you change my presentation on my channel? I don't understand the question. Do you want to call in and be on the show? If you want to call in and be on the show, do a super chat. I'll open up the phone line and you can call me like Mark Stone called the president. You can call me live on the show and ask me. I don't know what you mean. Can I change this layout? I always say he's the worst president ever. Doesn't care about anyone but himself, says Derek Vane. Terry, nice talking to you earlier, by the way. Is this Coast to Coast AM with Martin Lucas? Yeah. Yes, you can. What do you mean, can I change the layout? What's going on? I've no idea. Let's have a look. I am gamer. but I don't use correct grammar outside of college. I'm US military, and I like him. Who you like? Pete Hesketh? Well, you're one person, and that's fair enough, of course. You know, Slim. Absolutely fine. But I have spoken to and interviewed groups of people that, and I've got from the actual general consensus of the military, they do not like him as a whole. I'm sure individuals like him. I'm sure if you like Trump, you probably think he's great. But lots of the military do not like Pete Hesketh. That's a kind of overwhelming majority who think he's a bit of an idiot, actually. Bit of a gob on a stick. Are we live? Yes, we're always live. Daddy Pascal, how are you? Let's have a look. Hi, Derek. Let's go through. Hi, Liz. Have we got any comments or questions? Another word salad. From who? Agree. It was the first round. You're right. RW. What is even more important than that interview is where is MSK? MSK's banned from the channel because he came on the show, he used the C word, he was very aggressive, and we banned him from the channel, so we don't want anything to do with him. He's a bit of an idiot. Let's have a look. Trump will say we gave them a chance, said Scottish. The new attack seems silly and cruel. Iran will not be able to fire any missiles for 2 weeks. They will break the ceasefire. Let's have a look. Why did we do a ceasefire if Iran has no more missiles? That's a good one. I like that one. This is getting ridiculous because Trump will finish this very fast and destructive, says High Energy. Russia and China will make sure Iran has a fight in the game. Let's have a look. So confusing, Ruby. What's confusing? Do you want to call into the show and be live on it? Then I can answer your questions. The peace president says defense. Andy Scott says China pressured Iran to take the ceasefire 5 hours before the deadline, but you won't see that in the news, says Andy Scott. I don't see any evidence to support that. But where do you get that from? All our information is verified, fact-checked. If there was that, and you are a member, please share it with us on Discord and we'll bring it to everybody. So if you do have information, please join our team. Okay, RW Invest. It is surely very clear that Trump has nothing to say about the war between Israel and Iran. Paula says this will end up with other countries getting involved, will get messy. High Energy, why can't we all just get along? Scottish Pete, notice he said they've won this round. Kazansky, anyone watch Caroline Leavitt news conference earlier? She says the media are reporting misleading information on the deal. Well, we are fact checking everything. I used to watch Caroline Leavitt, but I find her incredibly annoying and a bit of a bully. Won't let anyone answer any questions, and she's always going because she's angry. I kind of got sick of her. If I'm honest, Caroline Leavitt is a pain in the arse. She will always agree with every single thing Donald Trump says, whether he's right or wrong. So it's basically just a puppet. She's always going, because she's really, really angry with everyone. She tells people they can't ask questions. I just find her a complete waste of time. But anyway, I'm sure people here love her, or some people hate her. Caroline Leavitt tells lies every time. Yeah, it's just pointless. I don't see the point of her. She doesn't answer questions. She tells people to shut up, gets rude, swears a lot. I don't understand any of it. So I don't surround myself with nonsense. RW Invest. It has become so bad that Israel is stringing Trump along and Iran is doing the same thing to Trump. Trump must feel stupid by now. I don't know how Trump feels. Caroline is a liar, says High Energy. Trump first, America second. Well, I do believe, and I think it's fair to say, when Trump says he likes America, I'm sure he does. Trump likes his America. There's lots of people in America who are struggling. Donald Trump's America is brilliant. He can do whatever he wants. His America is great. I'm not so sure Trump's America is everybody's America. When he says the stock market is rallying, when it's down like 10% this year, I mean, that's ridiculous. Trump says the market is rallying when it's down 10% this year. It doesn't make any sense. Trump will say inflation's coming down. Inflation is hardly coming down. Trump will say prices are coming down. No one sees prices coming down. In fact, prices are going up. It kind of makes silly. Trump says we've got to reduce rates. No one in the FOMC thinks we should reduce rates. So he puts somebody in that will reduce rates, Hirsch, and Hirsch has said we can't reduce rates, we might increase rates. So we got two conflicting, obscure, absurd comments. So yeah, it's all back to front, inside out. But that doesn't mean to say you can't make money. We're always making money and we're always beating the market. Why is Israel's interference in destabilizing the national security of countries not being addressed? Thank you for your comment, Sleepy. I have buyer's remorse. I voted for Trump. That's interesting. Truth Social controls the market. It's certainly a big player in the market. You're right there. Pakistan and Turkey are the real negotiators. That is true, DJ. Trump first, money second, then maybe America third, said Derek Vane. Laughed my arse off. They phone him on his phone. I know. Wasn't it brilliant? Wasn't it brilliant? Derek Vane nailed it, says Ruby. Derek Vane, yes. For his goal, he needs to hijack the US Army. Defense 89. Rubo. Defense, what's the end goal? Conquest, Cuba. Oh my gosh, we're going to have another one soon, aren't we? Imagine if Trump did this right with NATO's help. It would be over by now. Now then, let's be clear. This is important. High energy. You are saying, what if he did this with NATO's help? This is what Trump doesn't understand. NATO is, and by its design, a defense force. It's there to defend its allies if under attack. That's it. NATO isn't just sitting there as an army whenever you want to use it. And remember, Trump didn't want to use it. When he started the war, he didn't get an agreement with anyone. He didn't speak to his allies. He just started a war all by himself. He then said when things weren't going too well, why can't NATO join in? Why can't NATO? Well, because you don't command NATO. They're not your army, and they're not even an army to go to war. They're there to defend for their allies. So they can't just go to war. Can't just do that. It's not what they were designed for. Either Trump doesn't know that, understand that, I don't know, or just ignores that. Then he says we don't need NATO. We've already won. Then we haven't won. Then we need NATO. Why can't NATO join in? Well, back to where we started. NATO is a defense force. It's not your personal army you can hire, but we don't need NATO. Well, why do you keep asking NATO to join in then? It's kind of ridiculous, really. So you can't just have... and by the way, and this is an important point, High Energy, you're saying if we had NATO's help, it would all be over. It wouldn't. American army have obliterated, their words, every target. There's nothing else to blow up. But you'll never be able to blow up individuals with rifles shooting at planes, shooting at ships. Never, ever stop that. So you can't do anything about that. That's always going to happen. So there's no more targets, any worthwhile, legitimate targets. They don't need more planes. And remember what Hesketh said this morning, if you want to believe what he said, all right? He said, we've only used 10% of the resources of the American army. So 90% wasn't even needed. So you don't need NATO. NATO make no difference. Few more planes, few more bombs make no difference at all. What is required now is negotiations and politics. None of that is. So you don't need any more planes. Makes no difference. He owns Venezuela. Who does? Defense. NATO is a defense, not a conquest. Absolutely right. Switch the blame, Tidy Big Dog. Yeah. As you heard from the interview earlier, when Trump is winning, we're winning. We don't need anyone to join the army. We don't need anyone to join us. When Trump says we need some help, he wants people to join. It's just backwards and forwards. Thank you for the information. Much appreciated. You're welcome, Ruby. He's about to take Cuba as well. Defense. Well, he will have a word to say about the next Venezuelan president, he said. I'm sure he will. Scottish Pete, he's told Putin, you have Ukraine and I'll take Venezuela, and Iran and Greenland, China can have Taiwan. Defense, he said he would withdraw Venezuela while they find a new president. Scottish Pete, that's what I think. Abokati, NATO can't operate outside of UA, the EU and USA according to the agreements when it was created. That is correct. You can't just start a war because Trump says it's not Trump's private army. RW Invest. Israel is going to become a world leader and rule from the Middle East. That is why it's also attacking other countries in the Middle East. Thank you for your thoughts very much indeed. Okay, Vaz, Slovenia, thank you. Slovenia and Slovakia, that's what I meant. Thank you, Vaz. Vaz is from the Czech Republic, so he's up on that. I've been to Umag in Yugoslavia when it was formerly Yugoslavia. I just couldn't remember the name. Slovenia and Slovakia, thank you. I've been to both places. Oil going back up, no surprise. People talking in the Middle East that Russia has given 100 nuclear warheads. That's the talk. Thank you, Andy. Please share your information and your sources on Discord so we can cover it. RW, you really can't compare the Middle East to Europe. Europe has nothing to offer. Thank you, RW. That's your opinion, of course. Thank you. My uncle is a black belt. My auntie tells him the colour. I love it. Sad I sold oil. Why? If you made profit, what does it matter? Iran says Trump broke ceasefire already. Iran says Trump broke the ceasefire already. I'm just finding this out from you. It'll all go back to Russia at the end, says Zach Zeit. Hey, Martin, didn't you think that even the stock market actually didn't go up much after the ceasefire was announced? It went back up where it was. I was very happy with it. All I wanted to do was make sure I bought the bottom, which I did. Don't need it to rally 20%, and I don't want it to rally 20, 30, 40%. Why? Because we want to accumulate more. We want to pay down margin and buy more while we're doing it. At the end of the day, there's no reason for the market to explode. This is why I've said the S&P will only make 10% this year, but you can make 20, 30% if you bought at the right time and traded it at the right time. So this is how we're outperforming the market. Anyway, that tells me that Trump has lost his credibility, says RW. Yeah, I mean, Trump will say the market is booming when in fact the S&P is down. Don't believe me? I'll put it on the screen for you. Here is the S&P 500. Now, Trump will tell you the stock market is booming. Year to date, the S&P 500 is now down 1.6. It's bounced back a lot. It was all the way down here. It was down like 10% from its high, 11% actually. We're now down 1.6. Hardly the stock market is booming when we're down at 1.6 and we're into April. Not that great, but we are making money if you know how to do it. And as you can see, my portfolio is up 120 grand in the last 12 months. Nobody gets rich if you only collect money. That's very true. He is on the vertical, I'm sure. He is on the vertical. Oh, I see. Liz. Well, you can, yes, UK investor, you can choose which channel you want. There are two. If you click on the icon, go to the home page, you can see the widescreen TV or you can see the vertical TV. It says, I'll show you. This is very straightforward. One says tall phone, one says wide TV. It's that simple. Here you go. On the home page, there it is. Tall on the phone. And there is TV wide. There it is. And you can watch the phone in two different ways. You can click on it and see it like that in the middle of the screen. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go in and out of the app and it will be like this. If you do it properly, this is how you see the phone. Let me show you. That is how you see the phone if you do it properly. In the center of the screen, all laid out perfect. See that? Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. And you can see, other channels popping up. You see that? Look, go through different channels. It's on the, let's come back to there. Go to the home page. If you want the phone, click on the tall phone. And there you go. Scroll up. See? You've got the tall phone version, if that's what you want. All right, there you go. If you want the TV wide for a computer, iPad, whatever, then choose that one. It's right there on the homepage. Tells you. One has the words tall and phone. One has the words TV and wide. And the one with the phone has a little iPhone in the title. There you go. All right. Okay. Thank you, Liz, for helping me understand what UK investor was asking. Hopefully that's what he was saying. The layout is probably the tall stream, but not the wide stream. That's probably what he meant, yes. Thank you for explaining. Thank you for helping out. Another few thousand and you'll get back to your 300K like a month or go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's I'm way past that. RW, I'm at 700,000. I'm at 700,000. That's only my, without my margin. There we go. There's 541,000. That is 1 year, $120,000, 29%. That's just my main account. Then you got the Roth IRA. Then you've got my crypto. And then you got my UK Robinhood. We're at $700,000 now. Nearly $750,000. Everything on target, exactly like we said we would do. And yeah, every target has been hit, every single one. Every price target has been hit. Every trade has been a win. Top show, top team. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you much indeed. I think people mentioning the layout have found themselves on the vertical phone stream for the first time. Ah, that might be what it is. There you go. Hi from Las Vegas. I get some laugh watching this show. Thank you, Scottish. Copy all of that. Yeah, in widescreen, the vertical is weird. Yeah, of course. If you do it wrong, it's going to be weird. Yeah. Thank you for the fresh, honest content and not the same recycled nonsense and hopium like some other channels. Please, I'm still tired. You're still tired? No, I get it. It's tough. It's tough. ROK, I didn't know about MSK. Yeah, we banned him from the channel. Basically what happened was we got to 100,000 subscribers and there was a small little group, about 6 people. When the channel was small, there was a bunch of small people. There was a bunch of people where they felt the channel was all about them, because when it was small and we only had a few thousand watching, a number of people like to, make a big statement, a big point, and be the center of attention. And when we got to 100,000, the day we did it, everyone was celebrating, getting really excited. It was wonderful. And people were super chatting me. And the people that wanted the channel to be all about them got really upset, because what happened was people were all super chatting, saying, this is great, well done, Martyn, congratulations. And then MSK came on and said, I don't know why people are tipping him. Don't tip him. He's got enough money and invest it in the stock market. And everybody got really upset. And from that moment on, MSK, a few others decided to get really nasty. People did a few horrible things. People tried to troll the account. They tried to report us to YouTube, which all failed. A few people tried to do some silly things. Lots of stuff going on. A lot of it I can't talk about because it's in the hands of my lawyers and stuff like that. We took action against all sorts of people that tried to do all sorts of silly things. Some of it is ongoing, some of it is gathering evidence, and they tried to bring the channel down, and it got really horrible. So what we did was we banned them all. Everybody that was horrible and rude, and MSK got so rude, he came on the show and started swearing and using the C word. Then they came onto the music channel, did the same thing there. We banned them there as well. They just kept going and going and going. And we said, if you don't like the channel and you don't think it's right that people super chat me, then don't. The ironic thing was MSK was the biggest super chatter on the channel because he wanted to show how much money he had. He always tipped more than anyone else, which is weird, right? And then when people were tipping and he saw the success of the channel and my portfolio, because you may remember he was challenging me to $1 million, which he'll never do. He got upset and jealous, I suppose. That's what people said. But it was silly. So we decided to get rid of everybody that was rude, and we did. We just banned everybody. There was everybody. There was 6 people. It's not even that important. There's 112,000 people who watch this channel, and 99.99999% of people do not know who a few of these people are and don't even care. They just like the channel for what it is. It's grown and they are on a winning channel, and they are very happy to super chat, be a member, and it was silly and pointless, and we've moved on, and we haven't even spoke about it for months now. These people are completely unimportant, and I'm only mentioning it now because you are asking about it. Anyway, I didn't know about MSK. Yeah, no, he's not part of it anymore. Hey, I'm trading MTZ. You were right 10 months ago, and I didn't follow. For it was 159. Now it's 340. You was right again. I know. Why aren't you a member then? You know what? I don't understand why everyone is not a member on Discord or a member on YouTube. You know why? I have been statistically, factually right on my trades now. Every single trade, every single price target, every single prediction about inflation, rate cuts for 3 years. 3 years without a single mistake on any trade or anything whatsoever. And you can get all of my trades, one-on-one support, one-on-one training, all of this stuff, the newsletter, the training course, trades 24/7, 2-stage events every single day, every trading day for a couple of bucks a month. I mean, we've got 700 members and we've got 2,000 YouTube members, so we've got a heck of a lot, but we got 112,000. I don't know why we don't have 112,000 Discordians. It's beyond me, because my members have said there are people who offer less, who charge $1,000 for what you do, and yet you're saying again, I'm right again, and yet you're not even a member. You miss out on all of my trades, all of my CEO interviews. You miss out on all of my one-on-one services. You're missing out on the newsletter, the training course inside Discord, the community. I mean, so much. I find it incredible. Anyway, she's hot, talking about Caroline Leavitt. Yeah, she looks quite nice. If you squint your eyes, says Mark Pierce. Caroline is rude. Yes, she's always going, I'm not going to answer your question. I mean, I think she's horrible. Anyway, you want someone nice and smiling, don't you? Not someone who's just horrible. This has turned into the... What does that mean? This has turned into the TDS channel. I don't even know what that means, and that you're not even a member. So what does it matter? This is a members channel. 98% of our live viewers are members, right? I think it means Trump syndrome, Trump disorder, whatever it is. That just shows you how ignorant you are, and that explains why you're not a member. We are here to win, and we always win, and our members always win, and our Discordians always win, and our Electrum members always win. We're not here to join Donald Trump's fan club. We're not here to join anybody's fan club. We're here to present all the facts, all the news, so you can make money. That's it. If you want to join a fan club, then go and buy a hat, go and join a club, and follow their trades. Always get it wrong, always lose money, but don't worry. You can just join a fan club and feel good about it. Go and do that, right? We're here to give you the facts. If you don't want the facts, and then you got to throw mud up in the air, do it. It just lands in your face. We don't care less what you think. NATO is a defensive unit, not here to help or attack. Exactly. This is what unintelligent people don't understand. I'm really interested to hear what you think about is that SPCE? Is that what you mean? SPE? Do you mean SPCE? And XRP. What are you going to see big move? I see Virgin Galactic potentially going to $5 to $10. It can certainly short squeeze, but I don't trust the management to dump it on you and to go for more dilution. I don't trust them. That's the problem. And also with rate cuts, with rates not coming down, which they're not going to, that's not a great help for Virgin Galactic. So an XRP going to $5, not 10, not 100, not 1,000, 5. Happy with that. Trump's calling head of NATO tonight. Yes, he is. RW, can we move on from the MSK thing? I'd really appreciate it. I didn't know that about MSK. Is the largest super chat still registered in MSK's name, or has it already been broken by someone else? That was, it's been beaten. Yes, it's been beaten. We've had several people beat it. We do it by doing two £500 super chats. Yeah, he's no longer the record holder. We've got people that have done more. Anyway, oil slowly creeping back up. Yes, indeed. The Grand Old Duke of York, he had 1,000 men March, I'm up top of the hill. March down again. My bloody arse, said Tidy. Hi, Faz. Martyn, are you afraid since you're closer to Iran? Are you afraid since you are closer to Iran? I'm in Dallas. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm closer to Iran? Am I afraid? What am I afraid of? Time to tell. What do you mean? I'm in Dallas. Is that what you mean physically? I don't know. Kev the Creator. I'm seeing a breaking news story that is Iran closed a strait, allegedly because of strikes on Lebanon on CNN. Let me go and check that in a minute. Oh, I meant normal. I meant normal. So he doesn't like this display on the widescreen. UK investor, do you want to call into the show? I really don't understand what you mean. It must be the way I would just suggest you go in and out of the app. It seems like you've got your app. Maybe you got your phone upside down. I don't know. Cheers, Martyn. Will next time. Thank you. When I'm gone, don't carry my weight, says Tidy. I meant normal version. Sorry, phone is playing up. I meant the normal version. What do you mean the normal version? Nothing has changed. We're doing exactly the same as it always is. I don't know. Nothing has changed. The whole world is turned upside down, but here in Belgium, we're only concerned about how much a perfect beer should have. I don't get that. Can you rephrase that? Tom, I'm looking to see your show every day. Thanks for the amazing content. Tom from Denmark. Denmark, Tom. I love Denmark. Been to Copenhagen many times. Love it. Love the people. Love the beer. Played in Denmark. Absolutely love it. Teach me, says K-Lux. I don't know who you are. We need to get to know you first. We have live training every day on Discord. Martyn, have you caught some colour in the sun today? If not, please check your blood pressure. Need to keep you... What? What do you mean? Need to check... Have you checked your... Have you caught the sun? My face is the same colour as normal. My skin tone is exactly like normal. I have no idea what you mean. RW, invest, love it. Cheers, bruv. Maybe Martyn voice. Song for Space, I remember that. Yes, everyone does. It was horrible. RW, I invest. I think Tidy is currently at... Yes, there he is. Tidy Big Dog. Tidy Big Dog is the new Super Chat record holder. Yes, he is. He is the new record holder. That was a weird day. It was a weird day. Yeah, people that were over the top extreme, went all a bit crazy, all then turned into hate within minutes. And extreme people always do. Those that go super over the top with love are always weird. They're always doing it for themselves. And then they realize the show is about 112,000 other people and then all go weird. But that's fine. That's fine. We just move on. All right. Really not that important. I remember, don't see Mike and double. No, Mike was the same. Mike was here on day one. And Mike would watch every single day, all day, every day, comment to everything. And me and Mike were friends. He had my phone. He still does. He has my phone number. We spoke. And then when the show no longer was about him every 5 seconds, he went weird as well. And it was weird because he kept complaining he wasn't making any money and losing money all the time. And then saying that I give really bad advice and it's rubbish. Well, first of all, I don't tell you what to do, and yet I've never lost and I'm always winning. He kept buying Tilray brands, and then he'd buy the S&P when it pumped. And I said, I've never lost money. I'm always making money. So if you're following me, how are you always losing money? So, yeah, he got fed up, and, yeah, there was anyway, could we move on? I don't want to focus on all these negative people. We surround ourselves with winners. We surround ourselves with good people. We surround ourselves with people that don't make the show all about them. So there you go. Anymore. It's a shame, really. It's not a shame. If I'm honest, it's not a shame. If people come into a show and make it all about them and then you grow, and then you become bigger and they can't support you. They were never your friends in the first place. When the show was no longer all about them, they turn against you. They weren't your friends anyway, were they? So it wasn't a shame. The show used to lose money. I had no money. There was no income. Nobody was watching. Now we make money. Now we have income. Now the portfolio has made money. They don't want to know. Well, that means they weren't our friends. Do I want to go back to a show that no one watches? Do I want to go back to making no money? No, I don't. I want to be surrounded by winners. I want to be surrounded by people that want the best for everyone, not just when it suits them for a private, personal little club. That's not what this is about. This is about everybody winning. This is about supporting people, not about making it about you individually. The show isn't about me either. It's about all of you collectively. And if you don't want to be part of the Lucasades, the Discordians, and remember, all these people, none of them were on Discord. They were all bring this up. There we go.
Josinov 26 tipped $1.99 through Super Chat.
Thank you very much indeed for your super chat. You know you can add a comment. Yeah, all these people wanted it to be all about them, and when it wasn't all about them, they didn't like it. So, so it's not a shame. Who wants to go back to a channel with nobody watching? I now I have Sensei works for me full-time. I've got Vaz now doing it, who will be full-time within a year. Casey wants to go full-time with me. Isn't that what we want? We've got a Discord server that's successful. We've got a newsletter that's award-winning. Do we not want to be successful? Of course we do. Then we can do stuff. You may remember we raised about $7,000 for a charity recently. One of our favourite charities, because we're successful. Why do you want to go back to being a charity for 10 people that want it to be about them all the time? Of course we don't. Why would you want it? So it's not a shame. It's not a shame. The show has developed, and some people develop with it. All of you have grown with it, and a few people, and we're talking about 6 people, right, out of 112,000, right? Wow, Martyn, that is really bad. Yes, it was horrible. Yeah, it was live on the show. Everybody saw it. It was live on the show. Everybody saw it. MSK equals Donald Trump not minding his own business with people tipping you. Yeah, he didn't like it. Anyway, sell me this pen. Better Wellness Company. How you doing? RW, you might want to enter the competition for the biggest super chat. He's not a member, so he's not going to do that. Ideally on Vaz's Evtol show. That's right. Absolutely right. Do it on Vaz's show. Vaz, LOL. Oh yeah, what happened to Mike? Yeah, I don't know. It became part of the hate club. It was horrible, really. Please, let's move on, folks. Yes, that's a shame. It's not a shame. We've grown. Some people don't want to grow in life. We want to grow. Songs for Space. I am a member. Dawson, no, you're not. You're not a member. You do not have a badge. You're not a member. You can say you're a member, but you're not. You don't have a badge. You're not a member. So you're not a member. TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, some stupid invention by Trump. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if this is Trump derangement syndrome, somebody explain this to me. Somebody explain this to me. I don't know why we get people in the chat who don't like what you're saying, just make it up and go, it's fake, because they follow something so ridiculous that they don't see anything right in front of them, deny anything that's plainly in front of them, and when they don't like it, just say it's fake. A couple of days ago, you may remember, famously, 2 days ago, I told you about a big story. I put on my Facebook a screenshot of Donald Trump's statement that he made himself on his post on his platform. I took a screenshot of it and a link to it and put it on my Facebook. And one very intelligent lady who works for the US Marshals, works for the government, friend of mine, really smart, she went, this is fake. And then she showed a screenshot of what social media influencers do to create false content. And everyone's going, whether you like Trump or not, this is true. You know, when he did the F-bomb and the B-bomb. And he put that on his own platform. And people were going, Martyn's got Trump, whatever they call it, right? It's like, no, I haven't. I'm reporting on the facts. This is what Trump said on his own platform. Oh, I don't like it. It's fake. Well, just because you say it's fake, you can say the moon doesn't exist if you want. And if you shout it loud enough, it doesn't make it true. You just sound like an idiot. And if you want to be an idiot, be an idiot. So I did. I just banned them. This woman I've been friends with for 20 years, I just banned them. I just, goodbye. You know, if you're going to be stupid, I don't surround myself by idiots. You can't win on the stock market. You can't develop businesses if you surround yourself by idiots. Just turn the bugger off. Get rid of them. They're useless. They serve no purpose. You always lose if you hang out in the worst bar in town. Always. Absolutely mental. So yeah, people do stuff like that, and I've no idea why. Anyway, Whiskey Wednesday on Discord tonight. Yep, Whiskey Wednesday. Whiskey Wednesday tonight on Discord in about 15 minutes. I've got to wrap this up. Well, you are constantly bashing about the Trump instead of talking about stocks. Dawson, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a member, so you're not constantly anything because you've not been here for a long time, all right? You're new to the channel. You're not a member. And if you look at my channel, you will know I've covered nearly 400 stock reviews. I've covered hundreds, if not 1,000 earnings calls. I've covered every FOMC report for the last 4 years. I've covered the FOMC report minutes for the last 4 years. I've go live 12 hours a day. We cover all the major events. And if you don't like what I'm saying about, I guess, your fan club, all right, well then go and watch a fan club channel, all right? We're not here for or against Trump. We're here to make money and we always win. And if you want to join the winners, join the winners. But it sounds like you don't, all right? And you say, talking about stocks, the fact you say that means you don't understand how the stock market works, okay? The biggest driving force of the stock market this year has been Trump's policies. Absolutely. That's bigger than anything right now. However, we've still done the news. We've still done the earnings calls. We've still done analysis, loads of it. And we've won on every single trade. We're always making money. I guess you don't like that, right? But at the end of the day, right, that is what's driven the market. Trust me, none of us want to do it. Vaz doesn't want to do it. Sensei doesn't want to do it. We all want to focus on stocks and shares and balance sheets. It's all we want to do. But right now, the thing that's driving the market has been the war and Trump. It has. It absolutely has. So we focus. We're not just doing that. This isn't the Trump channel. It's called Martyn Lucas Investor. There's no Trump on the front of it. There's no I hate Trump or I love Trump, is it? All right. Anyway, so you're talking absolute nonsense. I noticed a few old guard are not around. That's sad. I've been unwell. Kazansky, there's more people here. You may notice we get 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 views on live stream now. So it's not they're not here. You just don't see them, right? They are here. We've only lost 6 people of all the members that we had. 6. We've got 2,000 members. 6. We lost 6. And all 6 I banned. They didn't cancel. I banned them. All right. So there you go. We have a Ninja Cowboy on the door. SPCE. Yes, this is what I meant. Thank you. I think we're out. I think I'm behind you now, aren't I? I'm not sure now. Afraid of what? CNN 18 is a scam channel. They restream old news just to get views. Yes, thank you. It's rubbish. Yep. I went to Slovenia last summer, a lovely place. It is. How are you going to, Mark, how are you going to at the 5 News Corps that run America like that, Vaz? I didn't understand that at all. Alpha, yesterday you used quotes and full lines from the poem by Rudyard Kipling and said that your father told you this. If your followers trusted you, so never lie again. Oh my God. This is the sort of stuff you get. So Alpha isn't a member. He's just a troller, right? But let's give him his voice. Let's allow him his chance in the sun, right? Yesterday, you used quotes and full lines from a poem by Rudyard Kipling. Correct. I actually read you the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. Yes? That's not me making that. That's not me using quotes and pretending to have my own quotes. I read the poem. I wasn't trying to imply I wasn't, all right? So, yes, I know I read from If. I've read If many times on this show. If you've heard me read from If by Rudyard Kipling before, say yes in the chat, please, because we've got a troll here who wants to make himself look stupid, so let's allow him to do it, okay? If you have seen me read the poem If before and tell you it's If by Rudyard Kipling before, say yes in the chat. He's trying to make out I'm making it some quotes or something. Anyway, and said that your father told you this. Yes, my father did. So what you're trying to imply, this is the level of stupidity you get. What he's trying to imply, and you said your father told you this. What I said was, my father read this to me. Didn't say my dad made it up. Didn't say my dad just thought this was, my dad made up a poem, right? It's, how stupid would I be, a bit like you right now, to go on live TV, read from one of the most famous poems in the world, all right? And then say, my dad said all this. My dad made this up. I would look as stupid as you sound right now. So of course I didn't say that. And as you can see in the chat, everyone is saying, yes, Martyn has read this before. From If by Rudyard Kipling. This is not a conspiracy. This is not, you're not trying to be conned. No one's lying. You, however, are talking rubbish. You are saying that you said, my father told me this. My father read this to me. Okay? You need to wash your ears out, mate. Okay? My dad did not make up Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling made it up. And if your followers trusted you, so never lie again. Well, okay, my followers, if you want to call them my followers, I call them my Discordians and Lucasades, subscribers and friends, they do trust me, and I don't lie, and I've just explained to you why I don't lie. So there you go. I love when you get comments like this. It's absolutely ridiculous. But some people just love making an arse of themselves. So there you go. Congratulations to you. Eddie News on YouTube with the suffix 18 is a fake, trying to imitate the legacy media to get news and views. Absolutely true. And I'll demonstrate this for you now. Every single day, right now, in fact, they're doing it right now. Let me show you this. Are they doing it right now? Let me have a quick look. Bloomberg. Not yet. Not yet. So in about half an hour, what Bloomberg will do, this is Bloomberg, they will start playing video. This is Bloomberg, for God's sake. They will start playing, they have like a restream service like we do. But what they do, and this is Bloomberg, is they play the same videos over and over again that have been on their channel for years. 4 years. Every night, the same video, round and round and round and round and round. Go and check it out. You will see the same 5 interviews go round and round and round all through the night. What do? We have a restream service like Bloomberg, except we restream the day's events, and on the screen it says what you have missed from today's. This is the restream from today. Don't believe me? It's running right now. What does it say on the screen? What you see right now on the screen, number 1, is the date it went out. April the 6th. There's the clock. There's the time. There's the trades. So you know when this went out. You also have in the chat on the screen, restream today's shows. The chat is live 24/7. We do a better job than Bloomberg. And this is the real chat and the real time, and these are real people chatting to it live. We don't hide the comments like Bloomberg does. We don't repost the same videos. We don't try to influence stuff. I simply play you today's events all over again for people that miss it in different countries. So there you go. I love this. We call it whack a troll when we fact check everyone, including myself. Vaz, thanks for the info, but still keeping an eye on it. A foam head is the layer of foam that sits on top of a glass of beer. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Kev, please do not. They stream old things, branding them as news, just to get your engagement and views. Correct. Vaz, one of our broadcasters, is telling you, It's old news that gets played over and over again, day in, day out, to get you to watch. Bitcoin people do it. Crypto people do it. It's all a scam. It's all nonsense. And you can tell because if it's a real, genuine channel, they will tell you it's a restream, not pretend it's live like I do. See, just here, look. There's my statement. And I put the clock on the screen. I put the date on the screen. They don't do that. Why don't they do that? Because they're trying to scam you. Okay, I leave this channel on all day when the dogs went out. The dogs watch it. When I don't, that I leave this channel on all day, even when out. Dogs watch it. When I don't, it's a great place. R3, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your support. That helps the channel enormously by doing that. Trump said only one group of points acceptable to us. There you go. Vaz, I dig it. Sorry, I misspoke. Should have just said I'm going to check out sources. Thank you. Much love. Just put on Sky News. The show goes on. James and Mike were okay. MSK was a narcissistic gob. Yes, better wellness. James was lovely. I don't know why. James 007 was the most loveliest person, most generous person, most supportive person. James was great. James 007 was fantastic. James was never banned, but James got involved in that circle and he got corrupted by them. It's a shame. James was never banned. James is he's a moderator of the channel. I think he still is. But he decided to not watch anymore because he didn't like the direction of the channel because he got into that group. He got corrupted, I'm afraid. He's a great guy. He was so supportive. He was great. Loved James 007, but he decided to get in with the wrong crowd, and that's what happened. Anyway, this stuff happens, doesn't it? It's supposed to say Happy Whiskey Wednesday. The head of NATO has been in the Oval Office for Trump for 2 hours. Please tell me Starmer wasn't there. Martyn, the proof is in the pudding. Keep up the great work and dismiss the trolls. Thank you. We don't have any trolls anymore. We have no trolls anymore. We're only talking about it because some of you have asked me. I'd rather not talk about it. You will know from Sensei and Vaz and myself, we haven't spoken about trolls for weeks and weeks, maybe a month or more. We don't have any trolls anymore. We got rid of the rubbish. It was a shame to lose James, but we got rid of the rubbish, and the channel's growing and continue to grow. The portfolio's growing, and yeah, we just move on. But yeah, we don't have any trolls. I'm a Discord Pro member. Dawson. Yeah, but Dawson, I don't know who you are on Discord, do I? On Discord. On Discord, your name comes up, your badge comes up. I don't know who you are on Discord. I have no idea, Dawson. Discord is not YouTube. Completely separate services. You're not a member here. All right. So thank you for being a member on Discord, but they are completely separate, and I can't remember everyone's names. There's 112,000 subscribers here, 2,000 members, and 700 Discordians. I can't remember everyone's name on YouTube if you're on Discord. Just impossible. Michael, always be someone who celebrates those around you when they are successful. Always be someone who celebrates those around you when they are successful. Yes, Michael, well, you can do that because you're an intelligent person and you've got success in your own life. There are people who don't have success in their own lives who don't like it when people get successful. Everybody here now is good. Kazansky with Starmer wasn't there. Laughed my ass off, said Tidy. Oh no, DJ, says Liz, defense. Hope the head of NATO will explain to him that NATO is defensive. I got the emails and receipt to prove it. Dawson, I believe you. I trust everybody. All right. If you are a member on Discord, right? If you are a pro member on Discord, you message me, I reply to you. If you send me a friend request, I accept it. If every day I'm live twice a day in Discord doing stage events, I'm there in a minute. I was there today. I'm there every day. Whiskey Wednesday tonight. Join me. I'll be there in half an hour at 5 o'clock. On the hour, I'll be there for Whiskey Wednesdays. And we can have a drink together. You don't need to prove it to me. All right? I'm there every trading day, twice a day. Oh my God, says Kazansi. Starmer is a mug, said Dalish. They closed the street. What's going on? Yes, right on mine. It's all about facts on TDS. He controls the market, so there is no avoiding talking about him. Exactly. It's all about it. That's harsh on Muggs. Kazansky, I don't know what that means. So what about US oil? What about US oil? What's the question? You're not really asking me anything. Martyn Martyn didn't say his father told him the words, which of course Martyn didn't say his father told him the words, which of course are famous poem. He said it is a piece of writing, etc. His father would say to him, and it was bloody lovely to hear. We always win. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for putting our troll right. I should take my wins out at least. I'm not selling anything. Have a great night, says Terry. I have to admit, I've made real money day trading for a good month now, and that's thanks to Trump. Well, it's down to you, actually. It's not thanks to Trump. Trump has provided volatility in the market. You have made money by trading and investing wisely. Okay? I don't thank Donald Trump for starting a war. I don't thank Donald Trump for pumping the market and then dumping it. Absolutely not. I thank myself for making those decisions. Yes, I've been a sub for a long time. I watched your channel before you even updated your studio and shut down for about a month. But if you don't believe me, that's up to you. Why are you being so funny with me? Why are you being so rude to me? Look, I do believe you. If you say you're a member on Discord, I believe you. I'm simply saying you said you are a member and I said you're not a member here. You don't have a badge. You are not a YouTube member. All right? You may be a Discord member and I believe you and I thank you so much for your support and I provide you, I believe, the best service that you get on Discord, right? I answer all your questions. I go live twice a day. I share all my trades with you. I believe I give you very good value and service, right? Everyone thinks so. We're growing all the time. So you don't have to be rude and say, if you don't believe me, that's up to you. I'm very thankful and respectful to all of my members. I'm simply saying you're not a member here on YouTube because you're not, okay? And if you are a member on Discord, I thank you. And in 25 minutes, I'll be live and you can come and have a chat with me. All right? That's all I'm saying. Just making sure that you understand you're not a member on YouTube. Thanks again for sharing all these tips and information. Cheers. You're welcome, Stephen. Martyn, did you sell VU today or Nvidia? No. And Dino, as a member, you would know if I did, because if I'd sold today, I would have posted it on Discord for all my members and the pro members, 24 hours a day, my standard Lucasades throughout the day. If you are an Electrum member, I would have shared it on the community tab on Discord. Sorry, on YouTube. So you know I haven't sold. So no, I haven't sold Nvidia. I'm not going to sell Nvidia. And when I do, you'll know about it before I do it. Dino, no, he didn't. There you go. There's one of my members. She understands exactly how it works. Right. Everyone here is going yes when I asked, have I read If by Rudyard Kipling before to make our troll look a bit... I like playing Whack-A-Troll. If you want to come into my house, because this is my house, my studio, my show, and be rude and call me essentially a liar in front of my friends, you're very welcome. But then I'll make sure that everyone knows that you're talking rubbish and I'll prove it to everybody. And that's what happens. So there you go. Martyn, why have you downgraded your XRP target from 10 to 5? Does that mean we should expect 5? That's it. No, it can go 10 in the long term. I'm talking about in the medium short term, $5. More people saying, yes, you did say that. Thank you guys for supporting me. I appreciate it. Yes, and he makes exceedingly good cakes. I love it. Yes, and we've always been told that's what it is and the story behind it. Exactly right. Scottish Pete. Yes, lots more yeses lost in translation. Oh, no, it's not, Casey. We had people this person was trying to say I'm a liar. Okay, that's all they're trying to do. And they can shove it. I'll just say how it is. He said that he read from the book. Exactly right. RW, but I do miss my profits of 200%, 300% from last year and the year before. Remember, Martyn? Some stocks, but yes, I remember. I remember that. You had stock alert on your channel. You had stock alert on your channel? What's that? I don't remember ever doing. What do you mean stock alert? Don't watch CNN 18. No, it's a scam. Meeting in the White House. What, right now? Right now? Why didn't someone tell me earlier? Let's have a look. Meeting in the White House. No, I don't see that. No. No, you said the meeting in the White House. No. There is no meeting in the White House. I just wanted to be absolutely clear. There is no meeting in the White House. No. Nothing at all. Let's have a look. Carry on. I love James as a member and a friend. He also has a great... Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Really sad that James got into the whole... Anyway, I've said it before. He's great. James was great. What's going on with the Clarity Act? Anyone know? Yes, they're negotiating, but it's on pause right now because the war has taken all attention away. It allows you to buy more, right? Miss James, bloody hell, says Diesel Raider. Here he is. Oh, hello.
At Diesel_Raider tipped $1.99 through Super Chat. Trolls better not faff around with Martyn. Faffo.
That's right. Faff around and find out. They tried it. They tried to report our channel and all they ended up doing was getting themselves into all sorts of hot water with my legal team. Mine, thanks to stay true to yourself. You're a great guy. Thank you, Eric. That's very kind of you. Thank you. They're probably talking about how to use stock and double defense budgets. Diesel Raider, there were lots of trolls during Sensei's broadcast earlier. Or were there? I don't think they were trolls, actually. I think it was bots. We had lots of bots on Sensei's show earlier for the, for the FOMC. Yes, it was false. It wasn't real people. It was bots. You have a great stock advice, Martyn. I just don't like the more political direction it's starting to go. Crow, I'm sorry you feel that way. You got to be tough, mate. Right now, we've got Trump in a war, and that is the biggest driver of the stocks. Whether you like it or not, trust me, Crow, you've no idea. Every day we're sick of talking about it. We do not want to talk about Trump. This is not the Trump channel, pro or against. We are an investment channel. We want to talk about balance sheets. Sensei wants to talk about charts. Vaz wants to talk about EVTOLs. That's what we want to talk about. But that's not what's moving the market right now. Okay? So to win, I mean, don't you want to win? I'm always winning. My Discordians, all Electrum members, say yes in the chat if this is true. First of all, do you always want to win on your trades? And second of all, have I shared all my winning trades, every one of them with you on Discord and Electrum? Is that not what you want? We're here to make money. I would imagine most people will say yes to that. Let's see what they say. Okay, so to do that, we've got to take on what is going to move the market. So that is what we do. Sorry, Crow, I agree with you. I don't like talking about Trump. I'm bored of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of a war. I'm sick of all the tariffs. Oh my God, we've had months, we've had a year of tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs on. Who the hell is sick of it? Everyone, put yes in the chat if you're sick of the word tariffs. We're sick of it. But it's what has driven the market. Trump has taken over the stock market for a year. So please bear with me, Crow. I know it seems that way, but it doesn't. It's not what the show's about. Trump is a little puppet anyway, says Plain Sailor. Let's be honest, says Plain. Wisdoma. Imagine markets drop 10% to force Kevin Walsh to emergency cut rates. You can't cut rates because the market drops 10%. That's not how the market works. There's no way Kevin Walsh will lower rates because the stock market crashes. If inflation is high, which it is, and jobs are up, which it is, you can't do it. So the only way Trump is going to get rates to come down is to lower inflation, stop spending money, stop going to war, all right, and stop with the tariffs. The market has been set to come, rates have been set to come down for these 6 months. All around the world, everybody has said, and we know this because we've covered the FOMC report live. We have covered live the Bank of England report live. The Bank of England's rate decision. We've covered the European Central Bank's decision. We've covered all these. We're not guessing. We've actually covered it. And they've said we could lower rates, but we can't lower rates because of the tariffs. And then now the war. And now oil. All of which Trump started. So you can all sit around and complain about it, but it is what it is. We didn't do it. Anyway, so you're not going to get, Wisdoma, you're not going to get emergency rate cuts, because if we did, that would be a disaster. That would be worse. Inflation would skyrocket. I think market will go sideways for 2 weeks. I think you're probably right. I don't think you can get away from the political agenda in these times we're in. Well, of course you can't. And those that think that politics is not in the stock market, you're living under a rock. Politics is the stock market. It's manipulated. Trump himself pumps and dumps his own stocks. You can't avoid it. YouTube membership is different to Discord. Yes, it is. Martyn, why Electrum is $14 on YouTube and Discord is so little price? Right. Well, first of all, Electrum is not $14. It's $9.99. Not $14. Maybe you're in Canada. Maybe you're Australian dollars. I don't know. But in the United States, YouTube membership on the website, not the app, is $9.99. I've told people 1,000 times. Put in the chat, folks, if I've done this. Say yes. Do I always tell people to buy memberships for Discord and YouTube on the browser, not a YouTube app? Have I not said that? I say it all the time because Apple take commission. It's $9.99. Why is Discord so cheap? Well, first of all, YouTube provides more things than just my trades. My most valuable commodity is my time. If you're a YouTube member, you get members-only live streams, members-only videos. I reply to your comments personally. Everyone, you get your own response, one-on-one. On Discord, I do stage events and talk to everybody. I share the trades with everybody, one post. But also, I want everyone to win. And I believe in taking care of people, not taking advantage of people. So I've made Discord as inexpensive as possible so everyone can afford it. I could charge way more and get it. And you know how I know that? Because the pro members who pay the highest tier are a lot more active than those that enter the Lucasade level at $2.99. The ones that are gold members on YouTube book their calls with me every month. I've got about 50 gold members that have a 1 hour call with me every month. Okay? They're all active. The bronze members and the standard Lucasades, they're less active. So actually, the ones that pay more value it more. So there you go. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. This was always 5. And also, my membership never goes up in price, ever. And there's no inflation, ever. That's another promise I've made. Does anyone have any information on the Clarity app momentum? No, there is none. Because of the war, it's all just being It's all on pause. There we go. $14 Canadian. There you go. Well, that's different, isn't it? US dollar is $9.99 on a browser. That's what it is. Okay, thanks. Got into spec today. I hope I make money. If you paid attention, you would have known price target for XRP is 5. Thanks, Martyn. Thank you, gaming. Stocks alert was a red text bar during a live show with which stock you had to keep your eye on. Oh, I see. Oh. I think I vaguely remember that. Oh, I think you're talking about Ed Nevius. When Ed Nevius used to do stock scalp trading. I think that, and then we did an alert. Yes, we did. But we do that now, but even better. We have Sensei's alerts. Sensei has his alerts for his trading positions. I post all my trades on YouTube Electrum. I post all, and that's 24 hours a day, not just during the show. We've never taken anything away that we've not added and made better. And 24 hours a day on Discord and 2-stage events a day. Politics exists, it does. Lucasade shirt, nappies for bombs. Yeah, the one who's controlling the market is Donald Trump right now. That is very, very true. Yes, yes, yes. Everyone's saying yes. Thank you, guys. You're getting more into politics, and agenda-free TV is getting more into stocks. They are interrelated. Thank you for all the yeses. I appreciate you guys for fact-checking me. It's important. Wax on, wax off, says R. Martyn, have you seen the ceasefire has broken? Major crash coming. No, there won't be a major crash coming at all. If there was, I would have sold, and I'm not. Where is your SPCE short squeeze? Where is my SPCE short squeeze? It started, we went up like 40 odd %. Where were you? Where were you? A non-member just coming in at the end. We've already made 40%. Where were you? World has been chaotic. And then, of course, all this war stuff. War and no rate cuts from the FOMC report today. World has been chaotic for thousands of years. Now, nothing under the sun. We can make good or bad choices. Thank you, Wisdomer. MX, I heard Iran has just closed the strait again. You heard this, Martyn. What happened to Ed Nevius? Ed Nevius, I don't know. Ed Nevius had, he pops in sometimes. Ed Nevius had some personal issues and some health issues and a lot of stress. He struggled with some stress. Right, okay. I've got to wrap this up. Right. I've got to go and do my Whiskey Wednesdays. Let me have a look at you're talking about the ceasefire. Yes, it looks like, Iran, Galibath says ceasefire deal with the US violated. I'm not worried about the stock market at all. At all. And the reason why I'm not worried about the stock market is very, very simple. We always win and we always will win. We bought when it went crashing down. The people that bought it today on the rally, more for you. You pumped it up. Thank you very much indeed. Now you're holding the bag. You don't want to sell it. Protects my portfolio. That's why you know when to buy and when not to sell. I don't care if the markets goes back down again. I couldn't care less because I bought it when it was down. I'm not bothered. And I'm up on everything. My stocks, because of the uncertainty, I'm up on everything because I bought the bottom and Coca-Cola has carried on running. So if the market goes down, Coca-Cola will carry on going up. I'll make money anyway. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. So anyway, there you go. Thank you very much indeed. It's been a very, very long Q&A today. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is what we're going to do. 2 events are going to happen now. 2 events. I'm going to set up my Whiskey Wednesdays for Discord in 9 minutes. Let me do it now. Events. Here we go. Events. Create an event. Stage channel. For pro members only, of course. We do 2 a day for pro members. Next. Whiskey Wednesday at 5 p.m. in 9 minutes. Upload. Upload. Brr, 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 brr. All right. Hello. Scottish Pete. Thank you for the super chat, mate. I'm just setting it up now. Whiskey Wednesday. There it is.
At Scottish Pete 71 tipped £1.99 through super chat.
Right. The event is set up. Copy link. This is where we're going to be for our Discord Pro members. There is the Whiskey Wednesdays event. We have some whiskey together. And that's awesome stuff. Okie dokie, that's all set up. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the extra channel, which I just said to you before is today's show. If you want to support the channel and be an ambassador of the show and watch what you've missed and always help the channel, you can do that. So let me do that now. Live now on Extra. Let me pin that to the top. Okay. Good. That's it from me. See you on Extra right now. It'll take you there automatically. And see you in Discord in 7 minutes time. Go and grab the whiskey. Do come and join me for Whiskey Wednesdays. Let me make sure if it's, I don't know why I'm talking like that. Why am I talking like that? Right. Make sure all streams are going to Extra. Yes. Good. It'll take you there automatically. Good. Yes. Okay, good. We're out of here. Thank you ever so much indeed. See you back in the morning. See you on Extra for the replay and what you've missed. Put it on mute if you just want to support the channel. We appreciate it. And I'll see you in Discord in 6 minutes time for Whiskey Wednesday. Go and grab your favorite whiskey. Cheers, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.